right. Okay. It looks like it says we're live. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to episode 5 of Tablebreakers. It is I, Bruce Lombardo. Garrett is also with us tonight, as is Blaine as Kai. How are you gentlemen tonight?
I'm doing all right.
I'm tired.
Tired? Why are you tired, sir?
Because I'm in the office this week. So I got to get up a little earlier to go to work. And then I have that nice little 20 to 25 minute drive to come back from work. And it's annoying.
Prep.
Yes, we're doing prep.
Yeah. So thank you, Stream Elements Bot, for running. And for those of you that are just filtering in, we thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to discuss just a simple, not so simple thing. And that's going to be getting ready for when that group of people hits your table, be it real or virtual. Garrett, why don't you start us off on how you prep for that magic time, if you don't mind. And take as much time as you need.
It all depends. It depends on if it's something I'm running off the top of my head, or if it's something that I'm just that I'm actually doing like a module. A module, typically I'll read through it, a day or two beforehand, just so I've got a good idea of what's going on. If I'm doing it off the top of my head, I literally play it off of what the players want to do. I know point A is where we're starting. I know point B is where we need to go. And typically, if I'm running it off the top of my head, the players will kind of guide how we get there. And I mean, with it off the top of my head, I typically don't do a lot of prep, just because it's all coming, as it's getting thrown at me. So that's all I got, Bruce.
You don't really do a lot of prep, you say. So you pretty much just set a time and you set an agenda for the players to try to get into, and then you just have your hands completely off the wheel.
Well, I mean, I've got my hands on the wheel. Like I said, I know where point A to point B is, and I know how I want to kind of get there. I mean, I've got a few things, kind of thought, in my brain. But it's the what is it? The illusion that they're the ones controlling it.
Okay, so you're pretty much gonna go at it from the aspect that these people are committed and they're gonna be here at this time.
Yep.
And we're gonna play, and you have notes from the previous game, and you have an idea of where you want things to go from there. But you really don't try to influence where the navigation goes.
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to welcome into chat Hungry Ewok, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, and LDG of Geeks and Joy. Thank you for showing up, gentlemen. Blaine, how do you, as a seasoned Eternal Dungeon Master, with 0 hours as a player in the past 4 years?
Longer than that, but yes.
Sorry. And if you guys in the chat world, if you guys know of a campaign needing a thinking player, please hit up Blaine in the comment section, and we will get in touch with him so he can get in touch with you, because it would be nice to see him be a player again. You were a player in 2009 at my apartment.
Yeah.
Was that the last time?
No, there was like 1.6 years ago where I got to play a campaign for 1 year, but I ended up the party was off doing one thing, and they left me behind, and I ended up doing something so different that I was still part of the campaign, but I really wasn't in the campaign anymore. So they were off doing one thing, and then every once in a while they go, "So Blaine, what are you up to?" "Oh, I'm working on building this horrible thing in the background." And then one day, about 8 months into the campaign, someone goes, "Maybe we should poke Blaine and see what he's doing." Poke, and then I'm like, "You just did the wrong thing. I'm sorry." And then hit them with like, "Where did you get all this stuff?" Because unlike you, I've been playing the actual game. And they're like, "Oh shit." But after that, I've been GMing. Every once in a while, someone goes, "Play a character for like 2 sessions," and then I'm like, "Cool." And then the campaign dies, and I'm like, "I'm back to being GM again." Awesome. But anyway, no. A taste of what my usual prep time looks like is right now. I actually had to pull out a map like this, compass tools, so I can actually measure out actual distances, figure out navigational speed, figure out chase speeds between 2 boats, and figure out logical courses through for navigational purposes, and figure out how much chase time I needed to be able to catch a ship before it can reach target, and then do math to try to stay ahead of another player who was doing math, and another player who was going, "Well, what's the dimensions? What's the like endless piles of notes and details on that I should not have to know as a civilian on how a ship works, but now I know them all." And because I need to be able to figure, because these people are like, "Well, how much will it cost to be able to do X, Y, and Z?" And I'm like, "Well, shit, I could make up some random number," but then I'm like, "No, there's real data on this, and you people are going to learn it like I am." Boom, and then dropping on like, "This is your food, this is your staffing," and this is all what goes on my prep. And on top of that, I got to figure out what I stat out all the bosses, all the bosses' minions, make sure this all works together, so that way the climactic fight that's going to happen on Tuesday might actually happen on Tuesday, rather than going, "Well, you show up and I fucking got nothing." Because that's not rewarding for them for having reached the climax of a 4-month build-up to this moment. And so that's the kind of homework I do. On top of that, I also got to figure out the implications and ramifications, because of course the party goes, "We want to actually inform the authorities," and I'm like, "Well, shit, communications time, travel time, lag time, so that way I can make sure that, I'm sorry, you can't actually call in help because these people are actually 4 days away and you only got 3 days to be able to catch them. So they're 1 day out. So unless you want to delay for a day," and then the party goes, "No, we need to actually stop this guy." So, okay, so your chase is, "You can't wait 4 days. So you need to wait for this." Well, the help's going to come, yeah, a day late. So please do your best to be heroic, or at least leave a good corpse for the cavalry to find. Okay, cool. And this is like, my average prep time is just piles and piles of work and math and data and numbers and calculations and payrolls and like, so like, "We have so much money." Lo, trust me, I have 500 ways of bankrupting you. Just give me a chance. And I can bankrupt you in 12 different directions. But we only want one. No, I've given you 12 options, and 14 if you ask, if I do a little more extra homework. I just want to be able to make this. Little child, come with me. And that's legitimately why it's like, but since I do all this homework, it means that they feel more invested, the world seems more alive, and they're actually engaged, and because they know that there's so much more over the horizon. Like right now, they're chasing this thing down, but there's also this horrible threat that they got going, of like this crime syndicate that they also kind of pissed off in their zealousness. That's also looming, that I gotta prep up because that's looming and ahead. And they're like, and as one player goes, "Could you stop throwing plot points at us?" No.
All the plot points, all the time.
Like, you better keep notes, because I am, and trust me, if you miss a plot point, that plot point isn't vanishing. It isn't just disappearing off into the ether. That plot point is still out there, growing malignant, and it will catch you. It will eat you if you're not paying attention to it. Well, where'd this guy come from? Oh, I warned you about him like 8 months ago. We forgot. That was 8 months ago. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. You missed it. But I warned you 4 months ago and 2 months ago. You just didn't see the threat looming. Well, we were busy. Not my problem. You have minions. They're your trip alarm. They're your trip wires. You should have put them into place. You should have used them. You should have used the intel department I gave you. Why aren't you using your intel? Because we're not smart. That's right. You're not smart, and I'm going to teach you painfully, repeatedly, until you learn.
I will beat you over the head.
That sounds like a GM rant that's been simmering for a year.
You do 3? Yes, but no, that is a taste of what my average prep time looks like. So, yeah. Maybe this might be why I'm also frustrated and borderline gone crazy. But yes.
No, gone crazy? Never.
Yeah. This is also why when I. This is also what. Oh, yeah.
I've got a neighbor that needs my attention for a minute. Give me a few minutes.
No worries. But this is also why when I go play a normal D&D game, I'm also like completely at a loss because I'm like, what are you gonna do? What is there to do? The plot. Is there anything more? No, there's the plot. You should follow my breadcrumbs until you get to the plot. And I'm like, this is not engaging me. But okay, lead me. Take me to your plot. It is a simple thing. There's a door. You should take care of the door. Okay. There's some things. You should kill it. I've killed the things. And is there more? No. You're pushing forward the adventure. Okay, cool. Is there more? Why should there be more? I want more. I need more. Give me more. No. And that's what most GMs are like. No, this is what I've got planned. This is your amusement park ride. Get in the goddamn boat. Don't put your hands outside the boat and enjoy the ride till it reaches its conclusion. Periodically, there'll be a point where I try to kill you. You will inevitably, because you have built your character too well, because all you do is build killer NPCs who play rocket tag all day long, obviously. So therefore, you figured out optimally that one attack per round is the optimal thing because all additional attacks are all worthless. So therefore, it should you should always embody the following thing of if you aren't shooting, you should be moving. If you're not moving, you should be reloading. And continue this thing, and that's why would I want to play when I have 3 actions? Why would I want to play something that requires me to stand still, fire well, fire okay, fire ineptly, or fire once and then move, reload into cover, and then move this? I can do maximum damage. Well, I can cast 1 spell and move. Congratulations, you're not cool. You moved out of cover. You cast your spell. You're still you're vulnerable. I'm now going to snipe you. You're going to die because I'm going to hit you with more damage than you can soak, or more damage than you're going to be able to go cast through. With I'm hurt. Therefore, I can't really cast magic. That's the whole point. And watch people fall over bleeding and dying and screaming in piles because that's what you do when you're a player. You kill people and you move on. And they're always like, why did you build a character like this? Because that's how you build a character. And they're like, but that's not fun for us people who are like sword and board characters. Like, that's not my problem. That's not my problem at all. If I'm
fireball, always fireball.
And at which point I'm like, heavy crossbow to the dome. That's what it comes down to. Heavy crossbow to the dome. Hide behind cover. Move out of cover. Shoot. Hide behind cover. Reload. Fire. Shoot. Reload. And guess what? Unlike you, I don't run out of crossbow bolts. Not nearly as fast as you do. As Mr. Wizard. Fireball. Okay, I'm done. Hope this fight ends real soon because I'm out of my fireballs for the next until tomorrow, and here's me. I got another 30 rounds of ammo, motherfucker. Click, 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 click. It's like, and plus, I'm also going to probably throw axes at axes and move on. This is why I don't fucking play. I don't play the game much because all I do is sit in the background, tap my buddy, and go, "Hey, look, you spot. You tell me if I kill him, okay? You're off. You should try again." Bam. Okay, that's cool. Let's keep moving. And then everyone else was like, do we get to do anything? No, you don't. Because you're all playing melee characters, and I'm playing the ranged character. This fight is mine. Go away. and they're all like, this isn't fair for us. This isn't fun for us. Like, I'm sorry, wizards, if you guys can't keep up. Not my problem. Not my problem. Not my problem. This is why I need to
breathe. Okay.
No, I don't. I swear I do, but no, I don't. It's just simply I speak fast. I speak until I'm done, and I don't stop. I'm sorry.
It's just fireball. Nothing but fireball.
There's times where you just need to really just almost anticipate for the worst possible situation, and when things start to roll, you've over prepared, you realize, and things don't really work out that way.
Oh, that's it. That's the other thing I'm preparing for this next adventure. I'm also preparing for trying to recreate I hope you guys can actually shoot down incoming summoned creatures, so that way to create this almost Battlestar Galactica versus a Cylon base ship fight going on, so that way there's shit flying at them that will explode if it reaches them, and they get to try to shoot down arrows as they try to close into boarding range. And I'm like, come on, try to be smart. If you're not smart, you're all going to die horribly from exploding bats.
Oh, see, I had a player like that who there was a Drake.
Yes.
Well, it was one single Drake whooped their ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of them got a crit on him. I was like, all right, well, because I'd already said, okay, once he drops below this amount, 3/4, he's out of there. Because I mean, think about it, a Drake, it ain't gonna stay there until it's dead.
No.
So it, banked and started taking off over the bay. Well, one of the players had boots of big stepping.
Yeah.
Right onto the back of the Drake. I gave him 5 rolls not to fall off this thing. Guess how many he made?
0. 4?
1. Because he grabbed one of the bolts that was stuck in him, and it actually did a barrel roll. To me, if a bird has something on its back, because I've seen actual birds do this. Yeah. If something's chasing them or coming down on their back, they'll do a maneuver. It is a maneuver. And try to get away. But that's the whole thing, is that trying to, I kind of took real world physics into it, and he wound up falling off about 1,000-foot drop into the bay.
Nice. It doesn't matter. At that point, you just go squish.
Well, he was a bard. I gave him a reflex save to try to, not take as much damage as I had rolled. Because, I mean, you're falling. He's got those boots.
Right.
The thing is, those boots only had 3 charges, and guess what he used to get on top of that Drake?
All 3 charges. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, and then he hit the water, and then I gave him 3 rounds to pull him out, or he was dead. They reached him on round 4. Yeah, it was amazing.
I can imagine.
It was ultimately amazing.
That does sound like it was fun.
Blaine, did you see what happened a couple Saturdays ago with me, or no?
I caught it on replay. Okay. And I rather enjoyed how it played out. So yeah, that adventure entertained me on one of my truck trips. So yes, that was playing in the background. I couldn't watch, but I could listen.
Okay.
I mean, that's all you really had to do is listen.
Yeah, and I was trying so hard to let the players know, like, guys, you don't gotta do this. This is a bad idea. And then the dragon spoke, and the players were like, "Well, let's get this over with." And so the dragon's like, "Okay," and they went for their round, and then the dragon breathed lightning, and there's 3 piles of ash.
Yup. I'll admit, I laughed at that point in the truck. So
you're actually having to downshift and upshift and learn how to drive that big nasty thing.
actually, I was driving a box truck that day. So yeah, I was just I had it all just playing in the background while I was laughing on the interstate. So
You're welcome.
mm-hmm.
You were welcome. I really enjoyed that session, but man, I tried so hard to keep them alive. And they just were like, "Nope, we have chosen death."
Look, there's a certain point that even if you mark the minefield saying there be mines here, they'll still walk into it.
Yeah, they don't believe me.
No,
You
they
wouldn't do
don't.
that.
No, like
You
last
wouldn't
session,
do that to us.
they literally walked into a place where I pretty much told them that it's going to explode, and they just went. You wouldn't blow up the entire place on top of us. Yeah, I would. I spent like an hour warning you that it's going to explode. Everything's going to explode. The guy you're chasing is an explosives expert. He's a demolition specialist. You're going to die. And they walked in going anyway, going, we're just going to loot his laboratory that he's abandoning. And I'm like, okay, bye. Click.
Yeah, and I see the players doing the things they do after they've had ample warning, and they think they can beat the odds. We're heroes. We would never die. Oh God.
Uh-huh.
No, we had one of those already.
Yes.
I almost want to borrow Carl and Robert from Illinois and bring them down here to teach the players some lessons. But I don't think I could do that because Robert would start looking around, asking people questions, and he'd be like, "Are you guys hiring? Are you guys hiring?" And then, he'd drag his wife down here and she'd be like, "Oh my God, it's warm." And they would stay. And Illinois would lose a qualified guy for whatever he does. He's back in teaching again, right?
Mm-hmm. He is.
I'm proud of him. Tim Christ says, "I took an idea I got from Knights at the dinner table, had a door labeled the room. This door leads to certain death, and half the party still walked into it." Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? The room with the orc holding the pie?
That is the world's smallest dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is the pie is delicious.
Tastes like shit.
And you're right. And Tim Christ is right about some players don't believe there's a box. Yeah, you're right there. Some players don't. Unfortunately, sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes the world is flat, and going off the edge is death. You really shouldn't sometimes.
Hey, awesome one, how you doing? For my games, I typically will just listen to the stream before, and I'll listen to what the players did. I'll write down about 4 bullet points, and then I go with it. I don't even I'll have like some adventure paths in front of me or other stuff I can borrow material from. I'll have my bestiaries, my NPC codexes, all that in front of me. And I try to hide the books like Ultimate Equipment and like all the shit that the players should never get their hands on, but Paizo published it anyway.
Yep.
For some odd reason, they seem to think like, "Oh, we need to have the entire world open to us."
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no one that can craft that in this town. Your sword is in another castle.
Yeah, your sword's in another castle, Mario. Sorry about that.
Oh, and to prove the level of weirdness I am on measuring distances on a globe, yes, I have painted my entire world on a globe so I can measure out distances between locations.
Hold that up again. Is that what, 4 inches diameter?
Yeah. There it is. Yep.
Dude.
And yep, got poles are in there. Everything's the entire planet. All the major cities are all located on there. I'm trying to find a bigger empty globe so I can paint this on a much bigger globe, but that's going to take time. And yes, string and a ruler and figuring out exact distances on a globe. It's fun. And people are like, well, what's our flight time? I don't know. Let me get out the map, the globe, and measure. What? You're not using a flat map? No, that's not real distance at all.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to chortle here. I'm trying not to laugh like Cthulhu. In the portal will be like, oh. No, I'm serious. Players would think like, no, you've already got this all planned out, because like they think in their head like everything's cosmopolitan. It's just a level 5 spell away. We can do this. And you're like, hold on, there's a science to this.
There is science.
I've got to be accurate.
And the bad part is that when you got a table where a bunch of people are engineers or want to be engineers, and somebody goes, I want to go into space, and suddenly people are going, ballistics. Careful, ballistics. And we start figuring out orbital calculations and figuring out times and fall distances at where apogee is and how far you're going to fall and where. And be like, what are you doing? Figuring out how far your corpse lands. And where. And then having one person at the table goes, can we ask, what's the prevailing winds? Which direction does the jet stream blow in? Is there any local storm clouds in the area? Why? This might blow off the re-entry angle on where he dies at. And like, why? Because we want to know where his gear is, so we can pick up his body. Are you gonna bring me back to life? No, we're not going to bring you back to life. We just want to know where your stuff is.
We are going to be loot goblins. That's all there is to it.
Stupid people don't get to come back. Stupid people don't get to keep their stuff.
Pretty much. So,
like,
but yeah, like when and I've mentioned this before, a lot of the stuff that I do, because I do read a bunch of sci-fi. I also read, not high fantasy, but fantasy. And I pull a lot of stuff out of that.
Oh yeah.
There was a series I was reading called Bubba the Monster Hunter. And
okay.
And me, I saw that, and not ever hearing of this before, I thought it was related to Monster Hunter International.
Okay.
It was not.
All right.
It was a hillbilly that was tasked by the Catholic Church to go and kill monsters.
Was it at least fun to read?
Oh, it was amazing to read.
Okay, that's the important part.
They had a whole thing with and that's one reason why I wanted to take them into a Fey realm, is because I just finished that. So the first person they meet is the Puck.
All right.
The first person they meet is what?
Puck.
Oh God.
Yes.
And the way I had him, he was the messenger between the two courts, because his kingdom lies right in between them.
Oh, okay.
He is the king of the Lost Lands and the Lost and Dead Lands.
All right, I can see that.
And basically, once they traverse back into the realm of winter, they came across a wolf, and it was running toward them. The party freaked out and killed it.
All right.
Well, the person that got the last kill looked, and it had a ice blue collar around its neck. Unfortunately, that player failed the compulsion check to put it on.
I can see fun happening here.
Yeah. She then became Nab's Queen Nab's puppy. We also had another one when they met the Puck. They all introduced themselves, and the Bard introduced herself, and it says "at your service." And I stopped. I stopped the game. I said, "You don't really want to use those words, right?" And the rest of the party was, and the rest of the party goes, "No." She goes, "No."
I feel I have made a mistake. Can I retract that?
Yeah. Well, that player in particular had never read anything about the Fae. You know, a lot of the background of it. They had no clue. She's very new to gaming.
Hey,
so I gave her the mulligan on that one. So
then you did the right thing. I mean,
yeah.
Like you don't punish the new people for making mistakes. You punish the veterans for making the mistakes.
Exactly. And basically I told her, I said, you never want to use those words to a Fae, especially a Fae Lord.
Yes.
Because he will tell you to come stand over here, and you will come stand over there. And actually I did that whole thing where, you know, come stand over here, and I go, now you want to retract that, right? The at your service.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, and truthfully, you can take any type of fluff from anything else, even if it's out of genre, and throw it in there. I mean, hell, I had Harry Dresden as the Winter Knight in Nab's Court. And it wound up being really cool because we had a gnome wizard, and he was casting. They had a press off, and yeah, it was pretty spell off basically, and yeah, it was kind of cool because then they got in a whole discussion about talking about how the gnome could cast without saying anything. There's just hand signs. He said, "I've never seen that." So I mean, it opened up. I think a lot more fun for the actual players. You know, and truthfully, I just finished Monster Hunter International, the last book, and there's one thing in there that they say about hunters. This does not give anything away from the books. Is that hunters have to have a flexible minds. And truthfully, I think the players, you know, when they're sitting at a table, they also have to have flexible minds about what they have. So, you know, that's the big thing, is trying to make sure that they're not so, you know, rigid at your table, that they're they're the what I like to call the rules lawyer. Even the rules lawyer can have the flexible mind about things.
Oh yeah.
And that's, you know, exactly what I try to shoot for, because I tend to try to take the rules lawyers down a little bit. That's just me.
I've actually kind of I would like to go after my rules lawyers, but when they're being obnoxious about it. But I also like when the rules lawyers use their powers of evil for good. When it's like,
when you say the rule lawyers use their power of evil for good, you realize you just said that.
Yes, I did. Okay. But the thing is that I have somebody at my table where he is a king rule lawyer. He likes that the rules, that the engine has to at least support what you want to do. He is almost my governor. If I'm able to run without a governor, I will just, strange things will happen because I will play at exalted level no matter what game engine I'm playing in. It will be over the top heroics. You will be playing Chinese kung fu, wire fu, like Hong Kong cinema from the 80s, over the topness, and then he's sitting there going, "No, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, man. You gotta, like, there are rules," and I'm like, "I hate rules." God. And then he goes, "Now let's play with the actual rules," and I'm like, reality and rules suck. And he goes, "Yeah, I know, but let's see what we can do." He's my co-GM, and so when everybody else goes, "I have a stupid idea, I want to do this," and he will like literally lasso them, drag them into the I'm back down and go, "Now let's go see what the rules let you do." And then you find out that what you think actually has rules. It has, somebody's already thought of this. Somebody's actually wrote this all out. It may not be as awesome as you thought, but then you realize everybody else is also operating on this. So if you just take what you thought was amazing and then just lower it down a little bit, you can still be amazing as long as everybody's on the same level. And so he has managed to curtail my over the topness and make me actually appreciate rules ? And so it's actually kind of this fun interplay between him going, so it goes, "I have a cool over the top idea," and then he goes, "Figure it out," and then he figures it out. It's actually kind of nice. And so he uses his rule lawyerness not to dick over everybody else, but to go, be awesome with the rules. And then we all go, "Well, could you help me figure out where the rules are at so I can actually do what I want to do?" And he goes, "Yes." And then he'll sit down with you and work with the rules, but you have to show your willingness to actually work with the rules. And he's even done this to my happy ass. And suddenly I go, "Well, this is what I want." And he goes, "Okay, let's work with that." And then we kind of build in this combo, this whole thing together. Or I will go, "Here's my NPC I'm building." And he goes, No, good combo." And he'll rebuild my combo and go, "Try this. This is a whole lot more effective. This is deadly." He goes, "I know, isn't it awesome? I'm going to kill half the party with this." He goes, "I know, do it." And I'm like, please. So he's using, like, his powers are evil, but he uses them for good.
Also, if you guys like what we're talking about, go ahead, give us a like, share our content. If you want to subscribe, that's great.
It's
Comment.
free.
Feel free to comment. I will play off of those comments happily.
Yeah, I didn't have any comments from last week. Shadzar was absent in his duty of being the
Troll?
the troll, the heel.
Yes.
Which I love.
He said duty.
Hi, Cal. How you doing, sir?
He said duty.
He said duty. Yeah. Okay, so when we're getting together and we're doing stuff, Darth Thick, that's like saying the necromancer's here to help.
He is.
No.
They just have to be buried into pretty close to each other.
No. See, the necromancer, what he's do is to come and ask you about your body's extended life insurance.
Do you have a plan for what you do after you're dead? It's important. I want to know if I can use your body after you're dead. Is that okay? Sign this waiver.
That's usually where things go downhill. Don't ever sign waivers blindly. Read every line.
Do it.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
I'm praying for true resurrection. I don't need a body. Please, you can use my body. You can use my body for horrible jobs now. Okay, cool.
Like a lot of the stuff that came out of Deep Magic from Midgard Press, a lot of people want to use it. And I look at that book and I'm like, I have to rewrite every one of these spells just to make it fit.
Yes.
Like what they do in that book versus fourth level spells for Pathfinder, or even fourth edition spells for or fifth edition spells for D&D. They don't really compare to Deep Magic spells. Deep Magic has a lot of spells that require some fine tuning and some mechanical work because they just don't really go well.
Noted. I'll keep my eye out in case somebody goes, "I want to try that," and I can tell them no, or with work.
One of the spells at level 7 conjures ballista that gives you your hit die and your intelligence to hit a ranged touch attack. Yeah. Yeah.
Something sounds suspicious there.
Yeah. It doesn't quite flow right. I'll just say that.
Does this same company produce anything so that way the non-casters get to feel cool too?
I don't think so. I think it's all campaign stuff.
Because that's it.
They publish Midgard.
See, that's one of the biggest red flags I always have is that it's cool the wizard gets to do all this cool stuff, but let somebody else have fun too. Sorry.
Well, they
the
are
casters.
Dreamscard Press.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Dreamscard Press?
No, but I should look into them, shouldn't I?
They have a martial combat system that is based on the Book of Nine Swords.
Oh yeah, that right there, it's off the table. Done. Done. No, okay, I will take back one thing. There is one ability out of there that I will allow.
What's
that?
It's the unarmed strike, where it takes it up a die.
That's not bad.
Superior unarmed strike. So, well, no, it takes it up one size level.
That's cool.
I mean, to me, yeah, because it actually will keep the monk actually using his fists.
I want to make punching more viable for everybody.
Well, my big thing is with the monks. Typically, once you hit about 10th level, your stunning fist doesn't do anything.
Nope.
You know, a lot of your earlier one trick pony type stuff is taken off the table, and there's not really a whole lot of cool stuff that gets replaced.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last night in Max's stream.
And I missed the first 2 hours of that. I'm sorry.
I after Heathen Dogs, after I gave the money that I gave, I'm like, my brain was going to explode, so I had to.
So refresher would be nice.
Well, basically, what Max and I agreed with is that you should never not be pulling things that you like at the table from other games. Like, say 4th edition Shadowrun had some really good skill usages, and you want to bring those into your D20 Modern. And if you can figure out how to bridge that gap between the mechanics, do it. It's not hard.
It's not.
It's not impossible.
Truthfully, for most of the major stuff, they've got conversions.
Exactly. And go ahead.
I laughingly joked because of all the April Fool's jokes that Catalyst Labs has put out over the years. They put out a D20 module for BattleTech, and I was like, "Oh, please God, yes!" And then they also put out a conversion to convert Shadowrun into BattleTech. I'm like, "Oh, so I can now bounce between all these conversion rules, and now I can convert this into this and this and this." And someone's like, "Could you shut up now?" Like, no. I'm going to have a Shadowrun mage running around now. Thank you very much. And they're like, "You can't do that." I can now.
And they're like, a portal spell screwed up.
A portal spell.
An Atlas.
And that's when someone goes, so you're telling me that thing over there, thump. I think it's a little higher CR, a little higher than what you can deal with, but go ahead, try. And they're like, "Oh, this isn't fun for us." I'm like, "It's fun for me." And it's always that.
Go ahead.
And just having that little thing in the background saying, "Please, think you're the greatest thing in the entire universe. Please, I have bigger toys I can pull out at any moment, happily." And that includes Traveler D20 conversion. So please, just try something stupid, and I will do all the conversion work. Please.
Oh, I went to Pac-Man
Yes.
with the what is it? With the spinal mount.
Yes.
What happened?
I can't remember the name of the ship, but it literally looks like a Pac-Man.
Yep. It's hilarious.
And it
And I
has
love it.
a spinal mounted gun that is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy damage.
And then when I had somebody go, wait, D20 travel, and I'm like, wait, do you want to make your character via life path? And they're like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And they all look at me like, please, could you just stop? Can we just like be normal? No, normal.
I'm thinking of that meme where the kid's in the back seat screaming, "Ah!" and the mom is going, "Why can't you be normal?"
Like, look, from GMing for so long and having to run with D20 game engines, be it 3.5, 4th, 5th, Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, I'm at the point now where I will be normal because that's what everybody expects. But boy, if you let me just get off the leash for 2 seconds, I'm going to run and you're not going to catch me again. And I'm going to do something horrifying and you're just going to be like, could you just not? I'm bored. You want to run? No, I don't trust you. Good. Then you guys endure me. Could you just like be normal again? Okay, fine. But if you guys start going out of the line and start asking me weird stuff, trust me, I'm already prepared for this. I'm ready for this. I want it. So if I ask for, I already have 5 modules written. I don't feel safe anymore. No, you shouldn't feel safe. But it'll be fun.
That's the thing. There's a game that kind of embodies and it wraps all that together.
It's called GURPS.
What?
It's called GURPS, and I ignore it.
GURPS is like the first that I can remember, although it wasn't the first actual multiverse that I think was published. But it was the RPG system that you could literally pull fantasy into sci-fi into transhumanism back into steampunk. You do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game that I play, I've only played GURPS a couple sessions. And the DM had a rule. You could play, because it was a Star Wars, Star Trek. Star Wars setting with Star Trek races.
Jeremy?
One guy wanted to play a Vulcan Jedi.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, no. In order to play the Vulcan Jedi, though, he first had to play a Klingon Jedi.
You mean a Sith Lord?
No. He had to play a Jedi. He took every. It was great because he took every single flaw he could to try to balance everything out. So he was hunchback, one eye, albino, disfigured leg. I mean, it was just all this stuff, and yeah, it didn't last once. It didn't last. The second session, he was able to play the Vulcan Jedi, and after that, it just kind of fell apart.
I agree. Kender, look, if a player came up to me and said, I want to play a Kender, I will tell them yes, because I know they've already read the books, so they'll be able to play a Kender right. And at that point, I'm just going to almost just start a chess timer and go ahead, see how long you're going to live before the rest of the party kills you. And I will encourage them. I will be the happiest man on earth because someone's going to play a Kender, and I will just be like, go ahead, try it. Just see how long you can do it right. And if they're playing it right, they'll be lovable, adorable, and they'll be doing it right. If they're playing it like a min-maxing munchkin, they're going to die a horrifying, bloody death, and I will be happy to watch it happen. And they're like, why didn't you stop me? You chose this. You chose this challenge. I'm not here to save you. You wanted this. Go ahead, play. So yes, fuck normal.
Yeah, Stone Cold Jeremy. I didn't realize he's such a tabletopper, but he is, and appreciate him being in the chat. But he in a Forgotten Realms campaign, the DM allowed him to play Kinder. All I can think of is that like there's a trail of missing items, and eventually the Elminster pops up and is like, "Put it all back. That is your play." And the player just like, "Oh,
Make me Elminster. Make me.
yeah." But that makes for an interesting campaign. Putting Kinders outside their normal area. I'm not all for putting characters outside their homeland areas into other campaigns. Like, oh, I've got a Forgotten Realms game, but you want to play an Iron Forged? Go ahead. No, I'm not into that.
No, it has to be within reason. But the thing is,
Yeah.
Kender are close enough to halflings that you could actually justify one showing up.
Yeah.
And plus, for some reason, players have to be some elf plus flavor, temperature, location. And it's like, are you I don't know, what kind of elf are you? What color, skin, hair, night, high, day, dawn, super, gray? What elf are you again? You're an elf. Okay, cool. I don't even care what book you came out of, because obviously you're just some kind of weird elf flavor thing.
You're a weird hybrid.
Nobody knows what you are, because you're just an elf. But I'm a special elf, I'm sure. It's like saying you're a special human, too. I don't care. They're so damn common. Like, they're just like, we're infested with fleas. I mean, elves, just go. Ah. You might as well just run an entire elf campaign where everybody's just playing their own different race of elf. It's just like an elf UN that's happening over here. And they just all kind of wander around, because if you, for some reason, players, without talking to each other, will all make elves. Why? Because we all have low light vision. So we don't have to worry about torches. Okay. And we're all long lived. Okay. And we get this and this and this. Oh, fuck. Okay. Everyone's an elf. Except for that one guy goes, I'm a half orc. Oh, half orc what? Half orc elf? I hate you. I hate you. I hate all of you. Or they all go, we're just playing 400 weirdo races that came out of, obscure race book number 42. And I'm like, so you're from the Forgotten Realms, but you're from garbage backdoor dump. Like, so you're from the village behind the dumpster at Walmart, and you're from the jungle race. You're from Asian land. You're from the sea people. You're from the mountain people. I guess you're all together now. Whatever. And the one goes, I'm playing a human. Thank God. There's one of you. There's got to be at least one of you who's human. I want the extra feet. Of course. That's why we all play the superior race. That extra feet at first level.
I love the not forgotten. I love the Lost Lands main campaign book. They have the world book for that. And even World Anvil has all the different race things that you can get just for being a different type of human than somebody else, which there's like 13 or 15 in this campaign. It's a lot of choices.
Bruce, I do have to read this joke that one of my mods put in my Twitch.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I went to my premature ejaculators help club today. Apparently, the meeting is tomorrow.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm okay with that one. That one flies.
There's some good dad jokes out there.
Oh. Well, this one's even better because it's an English dad joke, because he's from England.
I don't know.
Even though it's like almost 2:30 in the morning.
That's okay.
It's only 8:30 here. What are you talking about?
I'm talking in the UK.
Oh, that's true. Hello, UK people. We hope you are watching this and enjoying it, be it after the stream or during. Yeah, for the table prep that I usually do, I usually don't try to go outside of the bounds that I've painted myself in. So I usually don't allow like Kryn races in the game as players. No orcs, no hobgoblins, no lizard scale things. No, you get the basic half elf, half human, half orc. You get the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Gnome, halfling, dwarf, the basics. Go ahead.
Oh, but the thing is that I would prefer it that way, but for some reason, Paizo released the most annoying book in the entire universe, and that is the Advanced Racial Guide.
Yes.
And a book that I wish I could just like, go back in time and like kick that guy in the shin before it went to the printer, and just prevent it from reaching there. Because now every player goes, so I'm playing a variant human that has this cool other ability and other ability. I'm like, that's not a human anymore, but it's a special human thing that because I'm playing racial combination points, it allows me to be this weird thing, and it's in the official rules. So can I use them?
No.
No, but please.
No.
No. And fine, I'm gonna go play something else. And then there's like buildings like so. I got this really cool idea, and I'm like, okay, one of you had a cool idea. The other 7 of you need to go back into editing and try again.
Cal, we don't have those here.
I know. I would really
pronouns. No, none of those.
None. They have none. They are no. They're just a void that just gets deleted at the end of the. But eventually, they all go back to going. Well, I'm just playing 400 flavors of elf, and I'm like, okay, fine. That's better than your idea for the weird insectoid centaur thing. That's nice. Go away. But I got 8 arms. Oh God, you're a spider, not an insect anymore.
Yeah. We played a game with a centaur rogue. Just the visual when he said, "I'm going to do a tumble check."
Has to be amazing.
Just imagine that in your brain.
I want to play a sentient starfish. I want to play a sentient air-breathing starfish. I don't care what class. I don't care. I just want to play a starfish.
Well, I ran a game once where we did everything random.
Oh no!
So I had it was all percentile.
Oh
I went
yes.
I had to dig for some races, but we had one gentleman who was a mountain giant.
All right.
And he rolled barbarian.
I would have been happy with a bard. I want to see a bard.
No. It gets better.
Oh no. Okay.
Because he rolled a special.
All right.
For equipment.
Oh no.
And then he rolled again. It was for a mount.
Oh no. What's he riding around in?
He had a mammoth mount. He named it Snuffy.
I'm just trying to imagine okay.
And he played the guy with the voice of Macho Man Randy Savage.
I can see it. I can definitely see that.
Snuffy.
I would have liked to see a mammoth-sized goat, like a mountain goat, on this.
The other one that was really of note was we had one who did a Smurf, and a Smurf monk.
Not feeling it, but okay.
I can see it. It'd be tiny, but adorable.
Oh no, because his special was a magic item.
Oh.
He got a ring of enlarge, which made him made him small.
I see. It would have been more funny to watch this tiny guy kick everyone's ass.
Well, see, his strength was the same.
Right.
All it did was change his height, but he could take the ring off and go underneath doors and stuff like that.
See, that's similar to.
He was the scout. He was the scout.
See, that was a similar thing that one of my friends was told that the GM whose powers are of evil are for good are actually he was told told to make a useless character, and someone went you should play, like, one of the students is like, you should play a fairy, like a pixie. You can't be deadly as a pixie. And then he's like, really? And I was sitting there, like, I'm sitting there, doing prep for session 0 of that campaign, and the kids are all taunting him, going, "You can't make a pixie deadly." And I'm like, and he looked at me, and I looked up for my notes, and he's like, "Do I have permission?" I'm like, "You're authorized. You may now make something deadly." And he's like, I want that in writing. I want that in confirmation. I wrote out a note saying you are allowed to make a deadly pixie, and then handed him the note. And he keeps that note in his desk. And yes, he made a deadly pixie, a completely monstrous deadly pixie that dual wielding rapier using swashbuckling pixie that flew around and killed everything. And the whole party, can we do anything? No, the pixie is going to own all of you. Back. But yes, it was beautiful.
Blue Pixies are a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm looking at how this could have played out differently with your campaign, and I think it probably ran for the best under the current supervision.
Yes. I need an adult. I need a supervisor, but there's nobody who wants the job. So
I need a more adultier adult.
I need somebody to tell me no, but there isn't one. But until somebody wants the position, it's not. I'm running without supervision. There is nobody to tell me no, and that's a bad thing.
He's got scissors in his hands and he's running.
That's right. Yes, I'm retired. I wish.
Hey, Garrett.
I'm looking.
So, with you wanting to run a game off the rails, how often does that happen for you?
Once in a blue moon. Most of the time, people self-regulate. Actually, I've actually discovered this weird. I don't want to say a theory yet, but players think they want to be crazy. They want to do over-the-top things, but they actually self-regulate themselves at a certain point. Like when they realize what their limitations are by the game engine, by what they can do, they'll limit themselves. It's like it's like this weird thing where you just pour a player onto a flat surface, and you tell them they have infinite directions. They can go in any way they want, and then they will self-identify themselves and self-regulate, and then surface tension pulls them into this little blob, and it rolls in the direction that they want to. You've given them infinite room to be off the rails, to go do anything they want. And because of the lack of creativity that most gamers have, most players have, they just inch themselves into this little... They shoehorn themselves into the box. And then when you're sitting here poking the box going, get out of the box, get out of the box. And they're like, no, I'm safe here. I feel good here. This is my comfort zone. But the thing is that it takes them time to figure out where their box is. And there are very, very few players who will take infinite freedom and then do infinite things with it. And I find the few who can grasp that concept of infinite power, if I just so choose to grab for it, those few are special, and I put them in a little box, and I go, you are my special core of people, and I will only pull you out for suggestions when I go, hey, my other group is doing stupid things. You want to hurt them? Yes. And then they go out and do stupid things. But more often than not, most players just go, my class says this, my race says this, my abilities say this, and I really can't think outside the box of what the game told me I'm allowed to do. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you give them infinite rails to run on, and then they find a rail, and then they roll on that rail. And at that point, all it is you're just playing shepherd. You're the shepherd. You're the sheepdog running around and then just pushing them towards the direction that makes them all cooperate, and then they all move The herd moves itself as this blind mass entity, and you're just sitting here going poke, 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 and the herd just goes bah and runs wherever you want them. Or they think they're setting the course, and you're just sitting here going, don't fall off the cliff. Don't go over this way. And so I say my games are sandboxed. I say they have infinite freedom, and they do, but they put themselves on a rail and then they roll. But the thing is, they put themselves on their own rail in their own direction. They're all running towards, and it's nice, which unfortunately means when I go and play under other GMs, I'm used to the idea of give me infinite directions and I'll choose my own course. And now you'll know where I'm going because you now know this is my plot. This is what I've chosen for myself. And then have the GM go, put me on a short leash and go, no, you can't go that way. Come over here. And here's me. This is no fun. You're no fun. Why are you no fun? Why do you kill fun? Fun is the game. Fun is over here. This isn't fun at all. I'm going to pout until it's combat time, okay? Or until it's actually talky time. And then somebody else will do all the talking, and I'm going to be all pouty until I get to figure out what I want to do. Well, you should just follow what the group says. Okay, who's the party leader? That guy. I'm going to subvert his power now. Bye.
Yeah. Saturday was interesting how that ended. That
Your
was
Saturday? How'd it end?
We're playing 40K, and we're all Chaos Marines.
God, I would love that.
And the first heretic we had to go after with the contract we had was he was a brain in a jar with eyes.
So an Iron Warrior?
No.
Oh.
He was a former tech priest.
Oh. So a future Iron Warrior. Got it.
Well, he had a Lehman Russ tank that he had a little slot he could click himself into.
So far, my theory hasn't been disproven yet.
And he made the mistake of I made a hell of a roll and got control of some of his robot sentries.
Okay.
And used 900 of them to take him down.
As an Iron Hands player, I completely approve of this. This is a good combo.
We all stayed outside. We're Chaos Marines. We're not going to get our hands dirty if we don't have to.
No.
Except for that one corn guy, he'll just go in and just do it just because.
Once the look, like I said, as a proud Iron Warrior player, once the artillery kills everybody, we'll go in and take and plant a flag down. That's our job. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yes. God. I need to find an outlet, like an actual chance to actually play and like run rampant, just to get it out of my system. That's what it comes down.
Next Saturday.
But I'm running something every Saturday. That's what sucks.
That sounds like a you problem. Not
that is a you problem. That is a me problem. That is a me problem. That is a me problem. But I owe them, and once I say I'm doing a job, I'm doing the job until it's done, and they should be enjoying it. So yeah,
I think the best thing that I ever said in a game was a pack of Tarrasque.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. I would fear that as a player, but I would love that as a GM.
Oh yeah, I also had a bluff check that was in the 60s when I said it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was that was fun too. That was a good one. That was one of them there Gestalt games.
Oh, yeah, I can see that then. That'd be fun though.
A Ranger Rogue.
Very worth it. Very worth it. Sorry, I'm going quiet now.
I think we lost Bruce.
Bruce? No, he's on mute now.
I was on
There he
mute,
is.
and I apologize. Here I am talking, and I'm boomering it. Oh shit! I better hold on. Let me.
Wait, hold on, I got you, Bruce. Earth Dawn.
I already drank.
Oh shit! I need to stock up so I can get in on this game. This is a dry house now, and it sucks. Sorry for the dead air, but yes.
It's
Oh, we got.
Bruce, you're sharing your screen.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right, so that's what I get. That is exactly what I get for fucking up the curve, and I make the mistake of just talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, why don't they hear me? Why don't they hear me? I said something good. No, for like the last 3 minutes, I drank some beer. I had it on mute. And I'm like, why are they not responding? That was a good bit. Nope. There it is. I boomered out. Boomer Keeney.
We were.
Okay. So no, I think it's pretty important for you to be able to have the players kind of given their own, like they shove themselves off the cliff.
Yeah.
Blood. Let's go. Ugh. And there goes fucking Rosebud. All the players involved, and they're doing it, which is exactly why, like Kurt's like, I live for chaos and games. Well, dude, you should have been there on Saturday when the party said, we're going to go through this teleport and see what's on the other side, because we don't really like this campaign that you've got us on.
Obviously not.
What?
Obviously not. They're just jumping through portals for random reasons.
Yeah, I know, right? Instead of analyzing it and trying to get a whisper from it and seeing exactly where it echoes back from. No, they're doing funky shit, and they're asking these questions, and I'm like, you don't want the answers for that. And they're like, well, we're gonna jump in this portal. Well, there's a big blue dragon on the other side, and his minions. The minions are there laughing at you because they know what happens at this point. And 3 of the players, half the party, died, which was absolute joy.
It is
joyful. You made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake. You thought you knew better for your character in the game. And I knew it was going to happen, and I was trying to dissuade you from your current course of action. And now here we are rolling 4 dice 6 as they fall. Which I
right.
That okay, fine. But there's going to be some penalties along the way later on. Go ahead, 4 dice 6, drop lowest to range as desired. So... Yeah, I hate doing that. I would much rather have the random bullshit happen, but people don't want that. They're like, oh my god, 3 dice 6 is too hard. Oh god, 4 dice 6 as a fall is too hard. Cool rulebook is too hard.
See, what I do is 46, drop lowest, reroll ones, just because. And then I've thrown in 1 extra. If you roll all 1s on your first roll, it's an auto 18. If you roll all 6s, it's an auto 19.
Well, hell, that's nice.
Since I've been doing it, I've only had 1 person hit the all 6s. And I've had no one hit the 1s. But it gives them something to be like, oh my god, I gotta get this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I do.
On 4d6, dropping 6s is very high.
Hey, Gorilla Red 85, how you doing, sir?
It's like, never tell me the odds, but I just did.
Yeah, the odds are not in your favor, but go ahead, keep trying.
Yeah, it doesn't work out well for the players on those typically. So we get the players to the table, and do you guys like I have like 3 or 4 bullet points. I have 3 or 4 bullet points where we're going to head or what's going to happen. And if you succeed and you actually get all 4 of those things check marked and the items that you had to fight are beaten, you do get a pile of XP.
Yeah.
You also get a potential chance to have treasure that you wouldn't have normally.
Mm-hmm.
But that you really have to just be able to be creative. How are you going to do it? Statistically, he will beat you. How are you going to beat this guy? No, you tell me how you're going to beat him. That's what I want.
And the thing is that I guess before I go, blah. Let me start over. Words hard, late. But I think what I always try to do is I'm preceding my adventures with like hints of what's coming ahead. So if you're smart, you're picking up on the clues I'm dropping. If you're asking the right questions, you're going to find a few things out ahead of time before you go walking in to go fight that major encounter. So hopefully the group has actually been able to put their brain cells, all 3 of them together, and figured out a battle plan and done a little bit of dirt diving and figured out what they're going to do before they go into the fight. But more often than not, half the party was like, what's the actual battle plan? And then they all go running into the fight, and then I end up crushing half the party. They're all bleeding.
Jenkins!
I'm sorry, but you can have the best plan you can ever have going.
And then
all plans go out the door with first contact with the enemy.
And they do, because I think over the years I've had like the party put together all the clues well enough, like on 3 occasions, to make the fight actually easy. So there's always a variable that they miss. There's always a point where the plan fails, and I like that point when they go in and the plan starts to work, and then some detail that I've already warned them is out there happens, and suddenly they're like, wait, we weren't prepared for that. Well, yes, but no. Here comes the pain, and then watch them adapt, and it's fun to challenge them and see where that adaptation goes. Though the points when they just go screaming in and Leroy Jenkins before anyone's got a plan, that's actually like almost my most favorite moment. Is like when they just go charging in, and then I can just hit them with whatever I feel like at that point. Because at that point, they've ignored all my warnings, all my notes. I'm like, well, I'm going to put this cool encounter that I had already pre-built away. I'm going to pull out from this other folder an encounter I've already run for a different group. Because now you're just going into random combat. I'm just going to pull a random monster out of my 21 folders of encounters that I've created for myself over the years. And now you're going to go up against this encounter. It's a lot different than what you planned. Wait, but I'm just going to reskin it a little bit so it looks like what you were supposed to fight, but now its tactics and abilities are all different, and now it's going to fight you a whole lot different. You're going to get much more of a butt kicking than you planned, because you're all just going in there blindly going, we're all tough adventurers, we can handle this, and no you don't. Which is also why I because there's always that one player who goes, hey, can I go in there and do like recon, sneak in, do some observations, scout, spy on them. And it's always the worst player, because you never have the most intelligent player play the rogue for some reason. And I don't know why. Because it should be your smartest player. Because they have no magic, no major combat abilities. They're supposed to be smart. Go in there, figure out what's going on. But instead, you always get your rogue played by, I don't know, the worst person possible. And they just go in there, go, well, now I'm in there. What do I see? This is what you do. I'm going to ask absolutely no important questions, gather no important information, and I'm going to go steal a major artifact from the room. Why? Well, I now know there's like 5 dudes in there. Do you want any other information? No. But I see a shiny. I want the shiny. I'm going for the shiny. And then the whole fight gets started early because the rogue is out of position. He tripped off the entire encounter, and you're like, why must you suck so badly? And now I get to have fun running. But if they've actually like put together at least half of my encounter, cool. Now it's interesting, and I get to play, and they get to play, and it's this cool little interplay going on here because it's a game now, and it works. But only a few players have figured out that I do have 20-something folders of stuff I've written for myself to kill them with. Take care.
Take care, Stone Cold Jeremy.
Well, see, that's why I like some of the traps that the rogue goes in, doesn't find any traps. Okay, well, we're going to stand over here on this ledge, and there's like a little walkway to the chest. They open the chest, and the wall just starts pushing behind the adventurers, and the little bridge drops.
No!
And all the other adventurers get pushed into a hole. Big old spike traps.
Yes, but then again, I also like. Oh God, what was that old dungeon?
Grimtooth's
traps.
Yes, those books are just magical. They still hold up after all these years. So,
well, there's no mechanics from first ed or basic in there when they were written, and it's just here's how the trap is designed. Here's what happens. Here's how you. Here's what you need to probably do on the way as you execute it. Yeah,
and those books are some of the most beautiful resources ever written, and they still hold up to this day. And I love it because most players, because it predates most younger players, so they've never even heard of it. They have no idea what you're actually wheeling out in their direction. They go, "Oh, that's different. I have no idea that's a huge boulder. Yeah, it is. They knock a ladder out. And then like something weird things just happen. Like, I had no idea traps could be this deadly. No, you didn't, did you? Yes.
And yes, thinking they're just spike traps or pressure plate traps. Nope.
And will they pray to be saved? No. No, they won't. Oh, they can pray, but they're not going to be saved. But I save those for only special occasions because players don't always need to be hit, over the head with a freight train, even though you want to.
Every time.
Oh, every single time. Oh, it's so frustrating, but I love it. I love them, but they're my friends. I shouldn't want to kill them, but I do, and I'm going to.
No. You don't want to kill them. You just want to kill what they built. Take everything away from them.
And yes, though some people just seem to charge straight into it. And I just go, could you at least try to have some self-preservation instinct? Just a little bit? Some?
None.
I have none. I have none. I will never have any. Here's me.
Trust me. I have done that myself in Bruce's game.
Yeah.
Boots of Big Steppin'. Those things are evil. In between two giants or ogres, I can't remember which. I got smashed.
Yeah,
there's just a part of me that just kind of wants to see somebody have some sense of self-preservation somewhere in their core. Of I understand we're playing a role-playing game that you can just die and make a new character, but as I want to tell some players, part of me wants to go, yes, you're a sheet of paper, but if you're thinking about how your character is living, do you really want to die? And at which point one player goes, yes, I want to die, and I want to experience it. I'm like, stop playing my game. I don't want to. Your character does not want to die. You don't want to die. You want to survive this encounter. You might want to spend all your wealth. Try to not die, and then I'm actively seeking to die now. Oh, come the fuck on. Ugh.
So what you do is you get him to the brink of death, and then all of a sudden
save him.
Yep.
And then and never let him die, and it's such a fun thing. But I shouldn't have to like keep just trying to encourage people to not die, please. Just not die.
Or that's when you give them like an intelligent weapon or something like that will at one eight when he hit it as he goes past that 1 HP, it casts stabilize automatically.
No, I'm gonna live. Yes, you will. No, I want to die. Please, I want to make a new character. No, because you told me you want to make a new character, I'm going to ensure that you never die.
And on top of that, not only will that character not die, but he'll be taken prisoner, and you have to. That's how you're going to be playing that character now.
Yes, Gorilla Red, you are so right. If the threat of death is not a threat, then there's no challenge. It isn't fun. You are right. And when a player tells me that they don't fear death, that they're just going to run into every fight with this whole victory or death, there is no in between. I will not retreat. I am going to go into this fight with the idea that I'm going to live or I'm going to die. And I'm like, and do you have any sense of maybe I should not die? No, I'm going into this.
The only there is one class that would actually pertain to.
Which one's that?
Paladin.
Yep.
If it's evil. If it's evil or is perceived as evil by the paladin will try to. It's either going to be he's going to take it out or help take it out, or it's going to take him out.
I can see that, but I have tried the. How about you tell them that if they wish for death, that I get to make their new character. More than one player I know would actually say, "Please make my character," because then I know I will make a good character for them, and they'll get to play whatever I want, and they'll play it badly, but they'll get to play something that I designed, and they'll enjoy it. And I don't want that. Yes!
I'm going to mute that. I'm going to do that real quick.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to turn him loose.
He's got a fucking modem.
I love it.
All right, turn that off, Bruce. You're going to get me demonetized. You're going to get me DMCA'd.
And then we die.
And then I'll be mad.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay, I can unmute you now.
And you're right. I don't have to make them a good character, but the thing is that making them play incompetence just makes them want to die more. And I'm like, it's just this weird balancing act that I just don't want to get into that fight. And it's just easier to let it just go. And I just put them in a little bubble wrap box and and just ignore them. It's just like whenever any fight happens, I'm just always just like, and they go fight everybody else but you. But I'm bored. I want to fight. I don't care. You've got no zeal. They can just sense your apathy and go, ew. It's a doomer. I don't want to deal with this. And they go somewhere else.
And if we do get DMCA, guys, just hang out for a few minutes. It'll go black screen and then we'll come back. That's how it usually works.
Well, maybe for you.
Oh, yeah, you're streaming on other platforms. Right.
Oh, how terrible. I know, right? I just like that scene because that scene there, the guy is so committed to his mission, and when he fails it, he accepts the consequences. Which never happens in movies anymore.
It's like, now, in a cool moment, like a climax of a story, I like that. But when you go into every fight, every encounter with this idea of victory or death, and there's no thought of self-preservation, no thought of maybe I can actually come back tomorrow and kill you later, or maybe I shouldn't expend all my resources and live to see another day. No, when they all go in with this Klingon victory or death mentality. I'm like, even the Klingons know how to run away. Damn it! No.
True story.
Yeah.
I know. I just think that's a really cool movie, and
It is.
it's one of those movies that you need to watch every 6 months or so.
Not once a
Yeah.
year. It's
Yeah,
on my
about
year
once a
list.
year.
It's right there on my list with Big Trouble in Little China. So
Yeah, I watch that movie about yearly.
yeah,
We actually did a stream about that movie, like the 30. It is the 35-year movie anniversary for Big Trouble in Little China, or it was something like that.
yeah,
And it was crazy because, like, when you think about it, that movie is that old.
it
And
is.
then you start getting butthurt, and then it's like, well, don't worry, kids. Aliens is just as old as that movie is, and Predator's 1 year less. You're old.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
I'm not old. Get off my lawn.
Stay off the fucking.
So-
Yes, I'm old.
So I just, whenever it comes time to, we're gonna get the game going. We're gonna get everything started. Recognize what your players are doing, because they're most time players going to be on time.
Yeah.
So reward them by getting the game started on time as well. Talk with them about what's going on between sessions, just to clarify some things. And then what I always like to do is the day before, I'll watch this stream or watch the last hour of the stream and just listen for what was said, what was going on, what was in their heads. Like, I'm gonna have to do this in another week where I have to watch this stream, and I'm gonna write down things that happened, names that were said, because a lot of times whenever I do this, I don't do this to where I've got a plan ahead. I have bullet points. These are what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I fuck up because I don't take the best notes. So I need to learn how to do that. So this looks a little bit more natural. But that's just something that I, as a GM, I fail to do. And I fail to do a lot of good things as a GM. I'll say that. But to keep a table going, just honor your friends, honor the people that sit down at the table, take good notes, and offer callbacks to those things.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that I do in regards to like notes, I will open up the next session with, okay, so who remembers what happens last time?
That's a trick right there.
Because then you're also finding out who's actually paying attention.
Yep.
And truthfully, they may actually throw some names at you that, like you said, you may have forgotten.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh crap, yeah.
But the thing is
it also helps you.
And the thing is, those players who write the notes down, their notes are actually more useful to you than your own notes ever are going to be, because they write down what they think is important. So you might have written down that, X, Y, and Z is important, but they wrote down A, B, and C. And suddenly you're like, well, and then you're like, okay, so if they lead off with, we care about A, B, and C so much more, you're like, well, maybe I should just, and behind the screen, you're just sitting here reshuffling a little bit of notes and suddenly going, well, now this is important. And you just move X, Y, and Z. They're still important. They're still out there. They're still a dangling threat that's just sitting here inching over. But now you know what they care about. And it's important. And I have a benefit because I have on Skype. I know I still use Skype because I can't get everybody to go to Discord. But in Skype and various other chat programs, each campaign has its own chat room. And the players are all week long throwing details at each other, like asking questions, throwing details, posting silly memes and artwork, because it's a chat group. But this way, I can periodically check in, during a shift break and go, okay, this is what they're asking for, this is what they need to know, and then watching them quietly plan amongst themselves, and then go, GM, can I have a a point of clarification, please. And then I'm like, here you go. Here's your detail. And then they go back to all chatting amongst themselves. And then they'll come back. And then I find out that secretly, we've all decided that we're going to create our own secret chat away from you because you're the GM and we don't want you to know what we're planning. And I'm like, now you're getting smart. You know I'm your friend, but I'm also your enemy. And
You're a frenemy.
yes, I'm the friend who wants to kill them, and it's great because now they've all been like conspiring in quiet, and then purely putting their head in like going, GM, what's going on in this one area? This is what's going on. Okay, see ya. Whoop, and they're back out of screen, and I'm like, what are they planning? And then they come to the table with an actual plan that I don't know about ahead of time, so they can actually hit me. So since we're all playing on the same page, the same rule book, they know what I can do. I know what they can do, but now they get to surprise me on how they're going to implement it. And now it becomes an actual fun bit of double blind game going on here, where they get to be tricky, but on my terms. And it's just like the game is on a second layer, a second level, and it's actually an interesting experience. But the thing is, that experience happens because you've encouraged your players to all chat outside of game, and that chat becomes a log, a notebook. Like one of my players, he actually has been keeping notes in a log of every game pertinent and bit of information that I've written for my world for like the last 8 years in a file. And I keep asking him, can you just give me that file? And he goes, no. I'm like, why? Because it's all your information. Yes, but I want my information. So I can cross-reference my notes. And he goes, no, that's dangerous. And I'm like, give me my notes. but he's also like the chronicler and historian of all my campaigns. So yeah, he does send me my notes periodically, but every once in a while he goes, why are you asking for all this information? Don't you know it? I do, but I want to know what you know. Give me your files. And he says, he goes, I'm redacting them. You know that right now. And he's sitting here like redacting all of my own information to get it back to me. Go, you can't declassify my own information. I'm cleared for this shit. I wrote it. You have a search function too. I hate you. I really hate you.
Max is like, I did not get a notification. I'll tell you what, Max. I'm sorry. You were not.
Make sure you hit the bell.
Yeah.
Got to hit the bell.
The Capellans didn't inform you. We're sorry.
This is a time where I also throw the invite for tonight's stream in the chat. So if you want to jump in here and give your own thoughts and discuss things like, game prep and what you do before that, before the people hit the butts hit the seats, jump on in. The thing is that
do you know how long it?
Go ahead.
Do you know how long it takes to get a FOIA request back? Yeah, it takes forever. And yes, the Maskarovka is infallible. It's just slow at getting it back to you when you need it the most. I need a Capella Confederation flag back there to replace the pirate flag, but I haven't been able to find one in the right size yet.
Kurt hits on an important point. When you have certain players in your table, you do need to be more anticipatory of what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because things will happen that you have no control over as a GM. Your players, if they're talking to each other between sessions, first off, good. Because that's the mark of a good game. When the players are talking about the game you run between days, you're doing fine. You're doing everything you're supposed to. Anyway.
Ooh.
I see that.
I want that CC flag so badly.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of all the other things I wanted to say about tonight's game topic because, we kind of live for this to where we're like, okay, it's almost game day. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do for this? And I'm kind of out. I'm kind of not tapped, but the things that were on my mind about that topic,
we've hit.
Yeah, like we covered it. For me, I did, and
Are we?
it's always nice to do that, but I want to make sure that, like, okay, I know that there's other people in the chat that want to probably talk about their continued things, or Blaine.
No. No. Don't let me go. Just put me on a leash. I'm good.
Garrett, what else? How else do you prepare for the big game day?
I mean, I pretty much I'm tapped on this subject too.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get tapped so fast, but like after about an hour, and then I had 3 minutes where I'm talking and my microphone's on mute. It was like the best Shakespeare we'll never read. Anyway, go ahead,
So
Blaine. I'm not trying to fill time, but I know
is
you
this
have
a
things
tribute?
to say.
But no. Well, shit. Like I said, my prepping is legitimately either audio. Like, I'll admit it, half my prep is listening to an audiobook as I go and go, that's an interesting concept. Mentally note that. Find a new book series. That's an interesting concept. Mentally note that. And then when the players in their own little private chat go, this is what we're doing. I go, well, that sounds really close to X, Y, to this piece and this piece, and then it comes together. And now I'm going, well, now I have a new NPC to make. And then somewhere I start pulling up my character builder on my phone, and during my break time I'm sitting going, I'm going to build me an NPC. I'm going to build me another NPC and another NPC, and then I have more than I'm ever going to actually use. Or they go, we're going to go deal with the Duke of this land. And I'm like, I have no idea what that Duke is going to be like. Then I just go wandering off and go, huh, and then go pull out a field guide and go, well, this guy sounds pretty accurate. Now I have a personality for that guy. But the thing is that the only reason why I can do that is because I've read all these books. I know what I'm grabbing for. I know if I grab a history book, I'm going to pull open, some manual. I'm going to pull open a guide, a novel, something, and I'm just going to grab information. Like, I'll pull open a notepad. It's got lists of names and personality quirks. I'm putting the prep work ahead of time so that way, because I will often be dead on my feet, brain dead. Just not able to think and put two and two together because I just pulled another 10-hour shift and now I got to run for 5 more hours, and I'm just going to be like, I have no brain power. Please help. Caffeine can only go so far. But because I put all my prep work in during my few sane hours of rational thought, I can just go pull up my own notes and go, that sounds pretty good. And then they go, wow, this game's so well done. And I'm like, no, this game is being run by a madman, and and you're living only based on my absolute fickle whims. But if you think my game is actually well run, I'm doing a good job because remember, you never don't say the quiet things out loud, which I'm doing right now.
This is a different environment. One, we're not your players.
No, and I'm happy for that. And a few of them are like, "Can I have a link to your into this chat screen?" Like, no, because one, half of you are under 18, so therefore, no, cussing is not allowed for around you people. When some of you become able to drink with me, then I get to tell you all the fun stories. and there's a few of them who I keep going, hey, you want to go out for a drink? So I actually tell you what actually happened. And I feel the alumni are like, tempting, but we all have our own lives. I go, your loss. I would have bought the first round, asshole. But hey, I'm going to the bar. Fuck you.
There's some really decent bars in the Heights. Is that the area around whereabouts you
still out there?
Yeah,
I still frequent out there, but the thing is that I'm willing to drive anywhere in Peoria to drink. So therefore,
it's not that big a city. It's a nice city. It's just not that big, which is okay.
And we got way too many microbreweries now. So therefore, there's 100 flavors of bad beer to drink.
And they even have a bar now where you basically you get a cup and you get this little chip thing, and you put the chip up to it and it measures the amount of beer that you actually get, and you're charged by the ounce.
No.
No,
Yeah.
the beer
Yeah.
needs to come in. Beer should only come in one size, pint, and that's about all you should deal with.
Well, it is a pint glass, but you get charged by the ounce.
Fuck them.
No. You're a bad bar. You do not
Bad bar.
do
But-
not receive further operations.
The plus side is it is near a game store. So
Which one? Which one?
Cabbages.
Okay. All right.
There's
Just
actually a
for fun,
couple
still
of
going,
bars.
right?
So, huh?
Just for fun, it's still going there, right?
Yeah, it's still going.
Yes.
Now,
It's still-
Mike no longer runs that one, correct?
No, he still runs it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know.
I was told he was out of the scene, but that makes me happy because he was a good game store owner. Sorry,
Yeah.
chat. We're talking about Peoria, Illinois.
His beard's gotten quite white now. It's more salt than pepper now.
I totally understand this. I didn't mean for that to happen either.
No
I woke
worries.
up one day and I got up and my back popped, and then I sneezed and I felt my sternum disconnect, and I realized I was old.
Yup.
So
It's like-
go ahead.
Periodically, I keep wanting because the fun part is like, and I miss doing this because like I used to have a group I ran for who we were like, where we all gamed at my place, but then we all would go, you know what? It's like 6 in the evening. You all want to go out to the bar and continue and like find a table in the back corner and just talk, kind of game. Okay, someone pack some dice if we need it, but we're just gonna go back and just bitch, and we all end up in the back corner of the bar, and we're still kind of playing, but it's more like 4 or 5 drinks later, it's just simply going fuck you, and the game becomes a lot more interesting. But I miss those I miss being able to just relax and not have to be the guy in charge and just go, nah, I'm just gonna have some fun and just like world build, world think, contemplate some weird esoteric idea and have someone go, give me some bar thoughts. Those are the best thoughts because your mind is no longer you're more relaxed and you start thinking about stupid, strange details, and that's fantastic. I want that, but I need to find players and or GMs who want to go out drinking on a Friday night or something.
I miss going to the pub or the bar. I miss the game room on the square, and we would walk across the street and have a few or a couple or maybe just a shot, and then we'd walk back inside the game room. Yep. I miss that.
Yes.
Okay, game break, smoke break. Everybody has, the people who smoke would have a smoke. Then the people who, all right, well, you got like 4 minutes and then we're doing shots. And it's like, fuck. Smoke that cigarette as quick as you can, throw it away and run.
You ought to be happy they don't make Aftershock anymore because that was my standard.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Oh, God, yes.
I didn't realize Aftershock is still a thing. That was like nasty. Well, I mean, they call it like Fireball now, though, don't they?
No.
Okay, my bad. Okay,
that's a completely different thing. Fireball is a cinnamon flavored whiskey.
What was Aftershock's flavor?
Death and butane, I think.
Yeah, it was bad, and I used to drink that all the time, which I think I was suicidal alcoholic. But no, I liked it. And I don't know why. I got nothing for you, Chad. I have no idea why I drank a lot of Aftershock. It put me down fast.
I mean, truthfully, I think we've kind of beat this one to.
We have.
This is a short one. I think we've beat this horse as bad as we can.
I mean, unless anyone's got anything they want to like throw in at us, just please.
Yeah. Black Cross asks us, how do we plan for a magic die roller? Well, you look at that. Whenever somebody's having way too many good die rolls and like natural 20, natural 20, natural 20, and you're not able to actually physically view their character, you start playing it like UFO, XCOM UFO defense, where if you have too many successes, like you've tiered up into the next grouping of threats, but your character has not leveled up enough, so you are going to probably experience pain, and that's what you do.
I have a solution to that one that I've kind of actually adopted.
Go ahead.
The thing is, again, because I've been grounded by having, rules lawyer actually being, teaching me how to actually GM with rules, not just by whatever I feel like today, due to mental exhaustion. I tend to usually call them. I don't want to call them out for cheating because
no, you
if
don't.
somebody's like if their magic if their magic dice are just 1920 1920 1920, it's like I'm like, we're all friends here. You can part of me laughed one day when I walked past one of my students who was doing that and I'm like, I didn't call you out during the game, but here's a tip fail some rolls every once in a while.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm not saying anything, but fail a roll every once in a while. You can't crit everything, my friend. Not everything. And he's like, what are you saying? If you're gonna cheat me, just make it more enjoyable. And he got the point right then, because I didn't confront him in front of everybody else. I didn't say I'm going to throw you out of my game. But and the thing is that when I was talking to my cohort in crime about this guy potentially cheating, and he was like, yeah, I know he is too. And they're like, so what are we going to do about it? And he's like, nothing. And I'm like, all right, because all he's telling me is that if everybody's going to actually play with the rules, play by the rules, and let the dice actually determine their fates, go ahead. We're all playing the game. We're all having fun. But the moment you had that one player who is, like digitally weighted dice or rigged dice, I've seen players who've had both. I had one player have a joke set of dice, and he actually admitted that he accidentally started rolling the joke dice, the ones that only had
the 20 on the faces.
Well, where half the dice are all like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was nothing else in between. And he admitted to me afterwards going, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to roll the wrong dice. And I'm like, at least you admitted it. Don't do it again. And he's like, all right. But that player who was using, weighted dice or rigged dice rollers or rigged digital rollers, at that point you just kind of go, well, he stopped playing the actual game. He's starting to go into more storyteller, more narrative-based games. And I hate to inform most of my players, but I've read a book called Amber. I am all about diceless role-playing. And if you want to go into diceless role-playing, I know it way too well. And I will. And that game is a horrifyingly unfair, badly written game engine that's all about screwing people over. And that book is all about screwing people over. And once somebody brings in, I'm going to just make up what I'm doing and always succeed, well, guess what? The game changes. I'm not changing it for everybody else, but I'm changing it for you. But I'm not going to tell you I'm changing it because I've already warned you. And you should. And trust me, I've been around some grade A class cheats, people who are damn good at it, and they know how to hide their dice rolling. They know how to avalanche. They know how to bounce dice to get better dice rolls. They know how to roll and hide. They know how to conceal. Trust me, I've seen enough cheaters over the years. I've been playing long enough. I've seen card sharks, pool sharks, dice rollers, people who can rig things. I've seen it. I can tell. But I'm not going to call them out. If they want to play the game differently, I'm not throwing them out, but I'm not going to ruin everybody else's fun because of them. And so things are going to become a little harder for them, a little more challenging. Things are going to hit them, focus on them, and it's going to be interesting for them in ways that they can't realize, or they won't. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Bruce.
To speak to
Go ahead,
Curtis directly, I have seen him when he talks about magic dice, it's any die he touches. Because he will actually switch out dice every time he rolls. And he is consistent with what he rolls every time. It's
Yes.
scary.
Okay. I gotta say hello to my co-host or the primary host in our Sunday stream, Lockney Draws. If you guys want to stop by his channel on Sundays at 2:30 Central Standard Time or 12:30 California Time Pacific, you want to check it out. He draws what we call the CSF Nation. He has a really good chat, lots of good merch, and he has always good guests and some rockin' intro and outro tunes, I might say.
Awesome.
Okay. So I've never known that about Kurt. I just know him from playing on the web, and
Oh, yeah.
he always seems to roll high. I think maybe 94% ratio over 15 on the D20.
Hey,
yeah, and
Just
he's
good.
one of the ones that's legit with it.
Hey,
Yeah.
cool. Some people are born lucky. Cool. Enjoy them, because you know what? Every story needs to have a protagonist, and the guy who always succeeds, that's your protagonist.
Yeah,
And
that's your bad guy right there. The guy
Or-
that always is hitting home runs. That's the one you got to look out for.
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes if someone's dice rolls make them the either encourage the player who just rolls really well all the time to be like the bedrock, the character who's just the dependable one, or encourage them to stand out in the front and be like, congratulations, you're now protagonist or you're bedrock, and those are your two roles, and try to aim for that direction to push them in, and that's cool. Look, some people are just born lucky, and I love when I get one of them at the table. Unfortunately, there's people who want to pass off being magic dice, and I'm going,
Oh, yeah.
no, you're cheating, and I know you are, because you're not even a very good cheat. Because at least know when to fake it, know when to fake a failure, so that way you throw everybody else off on the fact that you're cheating. I mean, don't con a con man here. I've been GMing for too long. I'm a master con man. You got to be a con man to be a GM. So
Yeah.
True story, 7 Strangers Loft.
We're probably going to wrap this commentary up, but we hope that you guys learned something or at least enjoyed our banter together. And
it is banter.
It is, and I really am digging this stream. But I do want to know, Garrett, Blaine, what do you want to talk about next week?
Well, we're not talking about anything next week. It's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Boo.
Turkey Day, my one day off. I'm going to enjoy this month.
And truthfully, I'm not sure about the second because I may be still recuperating from a hangover.
We'll deal. We'll find something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out on the second.
Or we could always just, if we get a good idea in the next week or so from the chat comments, we might just grab that too.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, John. We did start the stream at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and I thought we did pretty well. We adhered to the rules that we tried to lay down, where we want to focus on this discussion topic, and
or at least the first half hour. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is mostly Blaine.
I'm sorry.
But I encourage him to talk because I've got a channel that's 10 years old or 11 years old. You've seen me run games. You've seen things go right for me. You've seen things go horribly wrong. And I draw a blank sometimes, even though I could just go back 7 years. Oh, wait, here's my discussion topic that I could totally just cut and paste. And don't worry about the fact that I have black hair in this one. But yeah, this is our video for 2021. No, I'm not going to do that to you. But I want to provide things that provide content to players and to people on the web. And Blaine, God bless you, but you don't have a channel, and you've got a lot of things to say.
I have a webcam I bought in 2010 and a headset I've had for years. I have no high tech, and I've always had roommates. So until this last year, I've never had the time to think about a channel. I have like 100 ideas for like rambling on endlessly, but time. So this is a great opportunity for me to at least talk to people and hand out information at your guys' prodding.
Yeah, and the thing is that you are always you're for my purposes, as I want to have a good panel. You're always complicit in the fact that, like, you'll be there, you'll be concise, you expound on things, and whenever you're able to just go off the leash and just run full bore at the fence, you do.
I do.
You just go straight for it. And I want to suggest you check out Legion of Myth on Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I know that may conflict with other streams going on or other things going on, but I think that Max and Heathen Dog are going to be doing more to involve their chat, although the chat people are telling Max, no, we come for the content. You have good stuff. I mean, we want you to rant more. And he's like, but. And they're like, we want you to rant more.
Hey, if I can find a gap in my day, if my Sunday can stay empty enough to make it, I'll make it, because I like listening to their streams. I really do, when I can.
Yeah.
They usually end up being played in the background while I'm driving, but yes.
They are a good pair. They're kind of like I don't want to get political here, but they're a Hannity and Combs for demon gamers. And he's like, ranting is tiring.
It is very tiring.
It's exhaustive, but
until you get Aaron the pedantic in there, and then that just takes all his wind out of the sails.
I love Aaron. Aaron is untested yet. No offense to Aaron, but he's still a young man, and I just think that as he levels up in life, he's going to get more and more experience behind him. I'm not trying to say anything negative. He's highly educated, and that is very apparent. But the boy just needs to go out and do something, And once he does, I think he's going to have some really good stories he can interpret into gaming for his groups. That's all I'm really saying.
Oh my, yes. Oh, if you ever get a chance, play with an investment banker. They are hilarious to play to actually game with.
What?
They are, and then one of my kids, he's an alumni now, but he has gone off and got an actual, like, he is in university to become an investment banker. I have watched him go from a cocky upstart, just weird young kid to now he's working on getting his bachelor's, and his attitude and perspective has changed so much, and I enjoy the growth and watching somebody who, like, I'm blue collar. I'll admit that. Some of my friends are academic. They're wonderful. Some of them are nerdy math engineers, and like, they can build you a nuclear reactor in their sleep, or they can tell you how acoustics work, or they can tell you how an engine works. And they're just odd. I had one of my friends who he is now a clinical psychologist. He is not there to tell you, what's wrong with you. He's there to watch you from a one-way mirror in a lab coat and go, good, shock him again. That was a fun experience. That was a fun player to play with. But this guy is bringing a whole new, he's like bringing like this weird new idea of like cost, like return on investments and cost benefit analysis to actions. And suddenly we're all like, no. Figure out our budget. He's sitting here going, okay, so, and he takes this weird, almost clinical mentality to most of us, like, treasure, it's this thing that we earn and then we spend on this. And then he sits down and goes, no, I have worked out how we're going to maximize our income for the next, and we're like, no, we're just gonna give all our money to that guy and he's going to handle all of our funding. And he's just like, I'm going to pocket 10%. 10%. No, we expect that. you're our investment banker. That's your share. He goes, you're smart. And it's fun. Like, so it's fun bringing new people and new perspectives and new professions that we don't normally get when we're used to just playing role-playing games. Like, we're all just like, most of us, like, much like how the game room was, as I think how one person put it, a VFW hall with dice trays. Gave an interesting perspective that corrupted me, and then I went on and had more academics, and then I had more blue collars, and like this weird. But now, since I work with a private school, I get a lot of really weird upper end professions who are now being shown what gaming is, and they're bringing new takes on things that are just odd, and I love it. Yes, a statistician can be horrible, but when they're diabolical, it's great, and it's beautiful. I've seen what lawyers can do now at gaming tables, and I'm just like, you are a different kind of evil, and I like it. Also, never play Dungeons and Dragons with a diplomat. Just do not. Like, and retired ambassadors are not allowed to play D&D. That is not a good experience. You will hate it.
Hey,
All right, guys. Well, we are at that.
Why don't we get a diplomacy game going?
Oh, no. Yes and no. But the first job is to go and crush the diplomat before he gets to play.
Okay. Garrett, you want to wrap her up here?
Yeah, because we're at that 2 hour mark. I think, like I said, I think we pretty much beat the horse to death.
And if you'll do me a favor and take us out on some words of wisdom, and then I will cut tonight's stream and bid everyone good night. And go ahead, Garrett.
No, I did it last time. It's Blaine's turn.
Well, I don't have any wisdom. Haven't you listened to me the last 2 hours? There's no wisdom here.
I forgot that's your dump stat. Damn it.
Yes.
Okay.
Charisma and intellect. Those are my good stats. Dump is wisdom.
I mean, guys, if you've got any questions, you can definitely feel free to, ask questions in the comments. You can, if you have enjoyed the stream tonight, regardless if you're watching mine or Bruce's, if on the ye old YouTube, go ahead and hit the like, and you can either hit that subscribe or that share. We definitely appreciate it. And definitely on Twitch, if you drop a follow, that is also greatly appreciated. We definitely appreciate. One thing that this is how I normally close my streams, and I think that it's, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, we're kind of giving thanks to those of you that have come and listen to Blaine rant for 2 hours, and that we have unleashed this on you. But
I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry.
And I actually got this from another good friend of mine who is from New Zealand. I'm gonna give you the full blown one here. So, time is a very finite resource, and you folks tonight have made the choice to give up a little bit of that time to hear three guys talk about how to set up a game. And we definitely do appreciate you guys, taking the time to come and support us, to listen to our craziness. And, we definitely do appreciate each and every one of you for stopping in, for saying hi. We definitely appreciate it. So we will be back in 2 weeks. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But yeah, we will definitely be back in 2 weeks. We hope that everyone has a very safe and happy holiday for Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And we will catch you next week, in 2 weeks.